Virtual summits are the most powerful online marketing tool available to grow your list, launch your platform, make more money, and create an impact in the world, even if you're just getting started. If you are ready to take your summit to the next level, then tune into the Virtual Summit podcast with Dr. Mark T. Wade.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark T. Wade, founder of Virtual Summit Software and creator of the One Day Summit Formula. And I'm on a mission to help you, the summit host, get your summit out to the world in a powerful and impactful way. So let's get started. All right, in today's episode, I'm going to do something a little different than I've done in the previous episodes. I'm going to provide access to one of my training sessions that I have hosted for a group of entrepreneurs. It's called Summitology Foundations Training. Now, this is perfect for you if you're just getting started, considering a virtual summit, or you're looking to get started hosting your virtual summit. We are going to cover all the benefits to summits. What are the challenges, common mistakes most summit hosts make, and how to determine which kind of summit to host, and how to come up with your summit theme. Now, when I originally recorded this training session, it was with video. So if you'd like to see the video version of this as well, you can go access it on the show notes over at podcast.virtualsummits.com/039. Okay, let's get started. All right, we are going to get started. I am super excited for this Summitology Masterclass. We're going to have a lot of fun on this, and I am really excited for you to get this information. I've had a lot of requests for more of a foundational or fundamental aspects of summits to make sure, maybe summits are right for you or not, virtual summits being. And I know we have a lot of diverse people checking out this Summitology Masterclass. Anything from like complete newbies, never heard of what a virtual summit was before. Maybe you were referred over by, one of our partners or some of our influencer friends that are saying, hey, you need to check out a virtual summit. And so you're just here to figure out what that is. Or I know we have a lot of summit speakers, a lot of people who speak regularly on virtual summits have reached out and said, hey, can you help me understand how I could host my own summit? And we've got people who've just been on different summits as far as attendees going, I want to figure out how this works and see if maybe it's right for me or not. And I do know we got a lot of people who are just looking to add something to their business, which is going to help them generate more leads and essentially improve or grow their business. And we also have a lot of just progressives out there, entrepreneurs, right? Looking for opportunities or ways to add something new or change it up a little bit in the business. So I'm really excited because all of you are in for an amazing, insightful class. Okay. So, but first, let's just make sure you're in the right place. So this class is for you if you are considering hosting a virtual summit. So, if you don't even want to host a virtual summit, then you probably don't need to be on here with us right now. If you're looking to get some clarity into exactly what is a virtual summit and how it could benefit your business specifically, and then also what are the fundamentals of getting started with a summit, and what are summit results? What do they look like? So you can actually kind of understand and determine, should I spend my time doing a virtual summit or should I spend my time over here doing something else? So we're going to paint that picture really clear for you. That way you can make an informed decision on whether a virtual summit is right for you, and then also how to get started with that. So we're going to get you that information. You're going to walk away here knowing exactly that. And so if that's what you're looking for, you're in the right place. So let's definitely get started. And also, I highly recommend staying till the end. We got some really impactful strategies right at the end, as well as a really cool gift that I'm going to give anybody who is here at the end, but it is a very limited time. So if you don't see the end, you're not going to get it. So let's move forward. First off, many of you have probably not necessarily met me or know me directly. You're probably hearing of me from one of our influencer friends like John Lee Dumas, Pat Flynn, Jeff Walker, Selena Sue, et cetera, et cetera. Or maybe you've heard of a virtual summit and you came over to one of our informative pages and you're like, okay, let's figure this out. So why you should even listen to me. I'm Dr. Mark T. Wade. I am a postural neurologist by trade. I have 2 doctorates and dozens of certifications in neurology, neuroscience, posture, human evolution, etc. I started in a brick and mortar business, a practice, and transitioned into the online business world. I created a online business called the American Posture Institute with me and my partner, which went on to become a multi-million-dollar company, providing educational resources for healthcare professionals as well as general consumers. We built that company on virtual summits. And so after a while, after running, many summits over a period of a couple of years, I decided to actually build a software to run our summits on. So we founded the Virtual Summit software. So I am the founder of Virtual Summit software. I also created the One Day Summit. And I'm the host of the Virtual Summit podcast, which is a #1 rated podcast, giving away gems on virtual summits. So I have a lot of experience. I've run at this time, well over 30 of my own summits, generated over hundreds of thousands of leads and millions of dollars from virtual summits. I've also helped hundreds of people run their summits and have done just the same. And I've helped educate and teach thousands of people how to implement things from virtual summits to the One Day Summit formula. And I've consulted with some of the top influencers and online marketers in the world and have helped them and their audiences do the same. So that's my background on summits. I'm not somebody who just came up with an idea and said, "Oh, let's go teach that." I actually started in practice by using summits, built a successful company, which is still here today and still running and still does anywhere from 2 to 4 multi-day summits and 4 to 8 one-day summits, which we'll cover in a minute, every year. So I'm a summit guy. I love summits. And I highly, highly recommend that everybody has a summit because they are the most powerful online marketing strategy available, which we'll get into in just a minute. But I just wanted you to know that I'm not somebody who's just wanting to teach summits or has never ran a summit or ran one summit and is now teaching them. I still run summits every month, both for myself as well as for clients and other entrepreneurs. So let's jump into it. That's me. So I'm going to tell you in the next 35 minutes, essentially what took me about 10 years to figure out. I'm going to condense that down and give you the most fundamental key aspects of this so you can walk away with an informed decision and decide whether that virtual summit is for you or not. And I just want you to know, it did take 10 years to figure many of this out and hundreds of thousands of dollars, but extremely worth it. And I'm going to just kind of give you the easy curve here, the easy button. You can skip all that and walk away with this information. So let's get started. Let's go from the basics. What is a virtual summit? So a virtual summit essentially is an online pre-recorded event that provides solutions, a solution or a series of solutions to problems by industry or influencer experts over the series of a set period of time. So let me break that down. What that means is we're going to take a problem, okay, a problem that your audience has or a problem that your program or your course or something like that solves, and we're going to solve that problem by bringing experts or influencers to come talk on that problem and solutions to that problem. We're going to record those videos, and then we're going to provide that for free for an audience to view over a series of days, a day or a series of days over a set period of time. So essentially what that means is, and what does that look like? So it could look like, anywhere from 10 to 20 different speakers that we do an interview with. We record that and we provide that information in a framework or a formula that's going to allow it to be available to our audience to view for free. Now, once it ends, those videos are no longer available. So it creates urgency. People either have to engage and watch it, or once it ends, they can actually purchase the on-demand version of it. So that's how we generate profits from the summit, one of the ways. Now, our virtual summit formula, what we use is this formula. It's conversation, collaboration, empowerment, and then the turn. Now, the reason why virtual summits are so powerful is because of this formula right here, conversation. It's one of the best ways to get your message out to the world. It's how you create your audience. It's how you build a tribe. It's one of the most powerful ways to get that message out to such a large audience and begin building a tribe and a list, which is absolutely important. if you're going to grow your business. Collaboration. Okay. A virtual summit is a very powerful way to establish strategic partner relationships with influencers or experts in your industry or referral sources that you bring on to do the interviews with, and you build a relationship with them. Many of them will end up becoming partners for you ongoing, whether it's just for a random promotion or you're doing a launch or you do a partner webinar, etc. But a virtual summit gives you a platform which is valuable and a way to bring these kind of influencers over to you. Otherwise, why would they want to build a relationship? So this gives you value and allows you to build that relationship. Now, empowerment, a virtual summit is really powerful for inspiring and motivating that audience to take an action. So whatever action you're wanting them to do, which is where the turn comes. This is where we take them into our next series of promotions, which is what we call the post-summit profit strategy. It's essentially the monetization. So that right there is essentially how we provide or how we take virtual summits. But inside of a virtual summit is extremely powerful ways to do all of this at one time. And the best part of it is it's very, very low cost, meaning we call virtual summits a self-liquidating offer, meaning you can build an audience without really having to spend any money. Like, you don't have to do ads. Many summit hosts do ads like Facebook marketing or any kind of paid advertising strategy, but essentially you're going to be targeting or using the audience of the people who are speaking on your summit, and they're going to promote the summit to their audiences, which is in turn going to help you generate an audience for free, essentially. So it's extremely powerful, but it's also extremely low cost. This is why, I mean, it's one of the only strategies that actually can do that can be this powerful and not have to put any kind of ad spends behind it. So this is the overview. This is what a flow of a virtual summit looks like. This is our flow with the one-day summit formula, but it's also the same with a multi-day summit. Essentially, you have an opt-in. People register for your summit, and then you can provide them with a thank you page and or an upsell. You'll initiate or start some communication sequences like email campaigns. And then once the summit goes live, you'll have your summit either one day or a variety of days, 2-3 days. We'll get into this in a minute. And you have your morning, afternoon session. You have your speakers spread out over that. Occasionally, we can do a bonus day or an encore weekend. And then we have our last chance sequence, which is kind of the sales or urgency sequence. And then from there, we go into the turn, which I just mentioned before, which is the post-summits profit strategy. So whatever your next kind of campaign or promotion or launch or course sales or whatever is going to be, that's where you now take that audience to. And then you can see the Eversummit there. We'll talk more about that later. But with the Virtual Summit software, there is a feature with one click of a button. You can rerun your summit as if it was live, ongoing forever. So now the time, energy, and work you put into the summit now becomes an ongoing profit, a lead generator and profit generator. And essentially what we call it becomes the beginning of your customer journey. So actually, I want to show you inside what an actual summit kind of looks like so you've seen it and you're familiar with it. So I'm going to just go ahead and stop my screen share here. And we're going to share this. So we're going to take a peek inside. This is the Virtual Summit software where all of our summits are hosted, but I just want to show you inside. I want to show you a couple pieces of a summit. So let's actually just look at kind of the landing page of a summit, just so you've seen it. Now, again, different, your summit, maybe you can design your landing page however you want. We have the Virtual Summit software has templates and stuff, but essentially you're going to have the most important part of a summit landing page is the first aspect. It's the fold. It's what is the title, the call to action, quick and easy ability to register, and then kind of your welcome video. So inside of your welcome video or your home video or your summit home video is going to be that kind of motivational message to get people to sign up. You got your hosts here. This is my partner, Dr. Krista, in our company that I was talking about. You got your speakers laid out. So you can see all the different speakers are put there, what they're talking about, who they are. You're going to have your different topics available. So, and again, you can design your summit landing page however you like. You can use templates. You can use whatnot. You got your sponsors, etc. But it's really super simple. You have a landing page. And then your audience is going to register. So remember, it's free to attend the summit during the time availability. And also I should clarify, this is a summit that's on Eversummit protocol, which is, depending on when you're watching this right now, this is showing that it's starting, next week because it's on Eversummit protocol. But when you register, or when your audience comes to it, they get the information, they opt in, and they register for free. Now, inside of a summit, so of course, all of this is done inside the virtual summit software. We have like our speakers, availability, to arrange your speakers and whatnot. But inside of an actual, inside of the summit, this is what it's going to look like essentially for the attendees, or some variety of this depending on how you set it out. But you're going to have your days. So whether it's a 1 day or multi-day summit like this is a 4-day. This one is now set up to be a 4-day summit. You've got your morning and afternoon sessions. You got your speakers laid out. You've got your resources and things up here, schedule, speakers, bonus resources. Obviously the upgrade option, which is, remember, it's free to attend during the time available, but we're always trying to get our audience to upgrade or buy the all access pass. The all access pass is essentially the ability to keep the on-demand version or the on-demand recordings of the summit. So your audience will pay or purchase. They can attend for free, and they'll purchase to keep ongoing access. So that's how you monetize the actual summit. We'll go into the post monetization strategy here in a moment. And then of course you have your speaker pages, which again, this is a pre-recorded. There are some live, but right now most summits are pre-recorded interviews. And then you have your summit presentation here, speaker information, any kind of lead magnet, again, upgrade. So this is again the inside of a summit. So you can see how simple and easy it is. Now, the one thing to note is, for example, during a live summit, like when the summit is actually going, day 1 morning session will be unlocked during the day 1. So if day 1 is on Thursday morning, these sessions will be unlocked. But day 2, which would be Friday, will all be locked. Day 3 will be locked. Day 4 will be locked. Now then, once day 1 is over and day 2 starts, day 2 sessions will now be unlocked, and day 1, day 3, day 4 will be locked. So again, after the sessions are over, it's locked. This is one of the incentives that gets your audience to upgrade and purchase. So then day 3, once day 3 goes live, it unlocks. Day 1, 2, and 4 would be locked. So that's just helping you kind of understand how that works. So again, we have our landing page, our attendees opt in, your communication sequence would begin. And then once the summit starts, so if it starts next week on Thursday, or whenever you set the dates, once it starts, your attendees will be able to, have access to the summit. And then the sessions will unlock based on those times. Cool. So I just wanted to show you the inside, or show you what a summit actually looks like. So you've kind of seen that before. So I'm going to stop sharing this, and we're going to move back into over here. Cool. So continuing moving forward. So why should you host a summit? Okay. This is important. Should you host a summit or not? So why you should host a summit is, first off, virtual summits, as I said, are the most powerful. There's no doubt. There's no question about it. They are the most powerful online marketing strategy there is. They're also the most powerful way to get your message out to the world. So if you're a brand new business, or you're just getting started, or let's say you're going to go into a new industry or a new niche, or you have a new program or product and you want to get it out to a new audience that you haven't built yet, no better way than a virtual summit. Get your message out. It builds know, like, and trust with this audience, because you're giving what we call a high value, low risk opportunity. The attendees come for free. They get to access all this amazing value, and they're spending time with you on these different videos and through the email communication. So a virtual summit does what we say: it solves a problem, builds a relationship. And these are two fundamental aspects you have to be able to build a relationship with the audience, but then be able to monetize the audience later. It's also the quickest way to be able to build an audience, get a list, build a list, and then to monetize that list and create know, like, and trust. It's the cheapest way to do this. As I had already mentioned, you can do this essentially for free. I mean, you may pay You may have affiliates or something like that. You may pay out affiliate commissions. You may decide to hire a video editor or whatever. But what I'm saying is you don't have to spend any ads. If I wanted to generate a list of 20,000 people and I wanted to do that through Facebook ads, I would have to spend over $100,000 most likely to be able to generate that list. $100,000 for a list of 20,000 people and hope that they are qualified and engaged. With a summit, you know that you have a qualified and engaged list, which is another reason why hosting a virtual summit is so powerful, because it's not tire kickers. It's not people that are accidentally here. It's only people that are qualified, that they want the information you're providing and are engaged because they have to show up to get it. And so with a summit, you can generate a list of $20,000 and not spend anything on ad spends, because your speakers are going to promote it to their audience, and then their audiences will opt into the summit and you will generate a list for free. And this is another reason we know it's qualified, because you'll bring certain speakers on that have a qualified or have an audience that you're targeting or looking to target. So it is the most powerful, the most effective, the quickest, and the cheapest way to generate a lead, a list, a qualified and engaged audience, to generate partnerships, which we'll get into, and then to be able to monetize. So this is why we host summits. And this is why, honestly, influencers have been hosting summits for years. Virtual summits were invented in 2005 by Milana Lashinsky, and she actually, from there forward, it took longer for them to evolve because of technology. It was very, very difficult. You had to be able to code to be able to run a summit. So most people, the only people who really ran summits for almost the last decade were people who either had a team, like had developers, coders, web designers, etc., had resources available to pay for that, or had that experience of their own. Now, fortunately, because of things like virtual summit software, anybody can now host a summit, which now gives all of us the ability to tap into this power. Okay, so what are the benefits to hosting a virtual summit? So I told you I wanted to show you some of the specific benefits and what that could look like for you. So first off, relationships. We talked about strategic partnerships. So when you host a virtual summit, you get this opportunity to talk with, you're going to be interviewing, you're providing value, and you begin to generate a relationship with these other influencers. Now, when they hear and see what this now puts you on their map, on their target. They hear and see what you have. And not all of them, obviously, but many of them will be like, you're now on their radar. They now know who you are. Like you went from essentially unknown to now essentially you're technically kind of like an influencer, because you are now connected with these other influencers. The other thing with the summit is it's what we call expert leverage. For your audience, you're going to become the expert because you're leveraging the authority, the influence, the credibility, and the audience of these other speakers that are on your summit. So the audience who's never seen you before, they've seen these influencers or these experts, and since you're there interviewing them and you're on this summit with them and you're the host of this summit, they might automatically assume that you have some similar level of credibility, influence, authority, etc. So it's extremely powerful for that. Also, authority. So when you hold a summit, you instantly have a platform and people start to see you as the expert, as the industry, the influencer, the niche expert on this topic. And so what ends up happening is people start to go, oh, I need to interview somebody on my podcast on this topic. And your name pops up because you had this summit. So you must be an expert or an authority on that topic. So the way this kind of progresses or works, you start to get these interviews. You start to get asked to speak on other summits. You start to get asked to speak on podcasts. Then your authority grows. People hear about your summit. They go, oh, I'm holding an event. Will you come, like this bottom left picture? Will you come to a breakout session at my live event? And then people with authority, the next progression is they're like, well, I'm hosting a mastermind. Will you come teach a session at it? As you can see in the top left. And then your authority continues to grow. And it's like, hey, I've got an event. Will you come speak at this event? And then now you're speaking in front of hundreds of people until the point where you're either speaking at events with thousands of people, or you can even hold your own live event. So virtual summits, I've seen this happen hundreds of times. It's happened for me. It's happened for my partner. It's happened for hundreds of entrepreneurs that we've helped do summits. They run a summit and all of a sudden they become the authority on that. They start getting asked to speak on podcasts, summits, breakout session at live events, masterminds, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So hosting a virtual summit gives you that authority. It also helps you build a list and generate an income. So you can see here, this is a summit we held, last month in our business. It generated over 26,000 leads. The actual summit made almost $50,000. And then if you add in the sponsorship income, which was $15,000, that summit made almost $65,000 just from the summit. That's not even with the post-summit profit strategy. That's just from the summit. And I do want to clarify this. I say summits are not a monetization strategy. Summits are relationship building strategy and a list building strategy. It's how you build your audience and build a relationship with them. Yes, you're going to generate income just like this, but most of the income, now you got a list of, for example, here, 26,000 people that you can then now sell something to right after. That's where the monetization comes in. We'll talk about that in just a second. So this is an actual sum. This is real results that I wanted to show you. And we have so many examples of this. But anyways, I just wanted to show you that. So are there different kinds of summits? Yes. So first off, we should have probably talked about this right away, but there's a multi-day summit. So we talked about how summits are a pre-recorded event that solves a problem or a series of problems over a set number of days with influencers or experts solving those problems. So we have a multi-day summit. A multi-day summit is anything from about 3 days upwards of 14 days. Now, for example, Russell Brunson recently ran a 30-day virtual summit, and his virtual summit actually generated $1 million in the first 14 days. But I mean, a multi-day summit can be as long as you want. However, we usually recommend 14 being kind of the longest you would do it. And most times, it's most commonly 3 to 7 days, okay? And that has anywhere from about 20 upwards of 80 speakers. Okay, 30 usually being most common, with 3 days to 4 days being the most common multi-day summit. Now there's the one-day summit. So I invented this about seven at the time of this recording, about 7 years ago. And it was actually invented on accident. I was trying to run a multi-day summit, but it was my very first summit I ever ran. And I didn't have any influence or authority, and I could only get 7 speakers on the summit. So being an entrepreneur, I just ran it. I said, well, I can't do a multi-day summit. I've already got this all together. Let's just run it as a one-day summit. That one-day summit generated 5,000 leads and about $30,000. And that summit became the template that we used to create a certification that became a multi-million-dollar certification. And then I started teaching the one-day summit formula to everyone, to influencers, other entrepreneurs, etc. So one-day summit is just like it sounds. It's one day. It doesn't mean it's a full day in length. It just means your audience has 1 day to consume the information. And it usually has anywhere from about 5 speakers upwards of 15, with 10 usually being the sweet spot. Okay, so it's much easier to run. You can have these up and running in about 30 to 60 days. I love one-day summits because they can be very strategic. You can make them very pointed or opinionated. You can also run them for the same post-summit profit strategy. You can run multiple one-day summits that all go into that. But yeah, so we have a multi-day summit. We have a one-day summit. There are live summits. You see these most commonly like during like a launch. People on the last day will do like a live streaming event. They'll have, from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. They'll bring a different person on every 30 minutes to an hour. So that's a live streaming summit. Typically, those are done for like high urgency type of events, like a live launch, a product launch. We don't recommend doing like a multi-day summit live just because of the technicality and the problems that can arise. And then there's a hybrid summit. So a hybrid summit is essentially a pre-recorded summit. This could be a one-day summit or a multi-day summit. Most of all the sessions are pre-recorded, except for maybe one live event at the beginning or at the end. Typically, we do like a live kickoff. We'll do that either in like a Facebook group, or you can do it inside your summit. And then at the end, we'll do like a live streaming event, typically like a webinar or masterclass, to essentially provide some urgency, to get them pointed towards the next promotion or to sell something. So those are the different types of summit: multi-day summit, one-day summit, live summit, and then a hybrid summit. So how do you host a summit? Okay, so from a strategy perspective, you always want to start with the end in mind. So I pulled the flow of the summit back out here so we can see. The very end here is the turn, right? That's the next promotion. That's our post-summit profit strategy. So where are you trying to take your audience? What's the next thing? What are you going to be selling? What's the promotion? Are you trying to sell a live event? Or are you trying to sell people into your membership? Do you have a course launch? Like, what's the next thing? Or are you just selling an evergreen course? So you want to know where you're going with that, because the most common mistake I see people make when running a summit is they don't think past the summit. They spend all their time and energy building out a summit based on what they think sounds good or is an interesting topic or summit, but then they haven't actually thought about where they're going to take the audience after that. And if there's a big disconnect for why your audience came onto the summit and then where you try and take them after the summit, you're going to end up not having very high conversions, or you're going to have opt-outs and things like that. So you start with the end in mind. What is it that you want your audience to essentially buy or do? Then you take a single problem or multiple problems out of that promotion or that product or that action. And then that is what you're going to run your summit based on, because that's going to attract the people that have this problem, which will then want to essentially buy your product or your course or take that action. So super simple and very straightforward. Start with the end in mind. Where do you want the audience to go? Take a problem or series of problems and then build a summit around that. Now, from a technical aspect, how do you actually host or run a summit? Well, that's super simple. That's the Virtual Summit software. So it used to be very complicated. It used to take around, 100. It used to take anywhere from about 7 to, like my first summit, for example, that I ran, had 7 different pieces of software, 26 plugins, and took me over 100 hours to build it, and still looked like a third grader build it. Okay. Once, we were running summits all the time, I started hiring people to do it. It used to cost me $10,000 just to get a portion of the summit built, and then I would build the rest. That's no longer the case. Now with Virtual Summit software, it's easier than ever before. You can have a summit up and ready to rock and roll in a matter of hours, and it is an extremely low budget, low expense to be able to do now. So it takes care of your hosting. So you can have multiple summits as well if you're running a one-day summit, multiple multi-day summits. And essentially, once you start to run summits, you're going to see how powerful these are, and you're going to continue to want to run them. Virtual Summit software hosts it. It's got easy-to-follow starter guides. Essentially, you need no tech skill, no coding skill. You don't need a team. Anybody can do this with zero knowledge of tech, coding, or even summits. Like it walks you through the process. Minimizes the work. It's like having a full-time VA for you. This is our speaker management tool. It essentially follows up with your speakers for you. It collects the data, all of this, and auto-populates it throughout the entire summit. The speaker pages, the landing page, etc. It's all done. So you don't even have to worry about it. And then it runs the summit for you. There's no more having to worry about turning on or turning off links. There used to be huge tech nightmares because your links would go to the wrong place. If you built it yourself, you'd have to go and turn off all the links for 80 speakers. And, it was just really difficult. Not anymore. Virtual Summit software auto-populates everything into the speaker pages. It runs it for you. It unlocks and locks things based on the appropriate times and dates. You no longer have to do any of that. And then the Eversummit feature, which I mentioned, this essentially has revolutionized summits. This was something, again, we've been running summits for nearly a decade, and we're always optimizing, looking how to improve it. And what we noticed was we put all this time and energy into a summit, and then afterwards, the summit would be good for like a product. And that's the other thing I should have mentioned before. When you run a summit, you now have a product. After the summit's over, you have a product that you can sell. So if you don't have a course yet, if you don't have a membership, if you don't have something to sell yet, a summit now becomes a product. You can use it for an upsell, flash sale, downsell, affiliate sale, whatever. The problem was summits are super powerful for generating an audience, right? So we wanted to figure out a way to make it work, to keep those. And what we would notice is if we just kind of still ran it or still had an opt-in for it, even though it was over, the conversions would be very low because just human psychology says, the summit's over, it's no longer good. Now with the Eversummit feature inside the Virtual Summit software, one click of a button, the software will rerun your summit as if it was live, ongoing forever. So it now keeps the conversions high, and it maintains your summit as a way to build an audience or become the beginning of your customer journey. So speaking of customer journey or post-summit's profit strategy, how do you make money with the summit? So of course you're going to make money on the summit, but the majority of the income is, like where you can really maximize your income or monetization is a post-summit profit strategy. This is our post-summit profit strategy. Magnetize, monetize, maximize, multiply. Magnetize is the summit. You attract the audience. You solve a problem, build a relationship. Then we take that audience. Remember, we started with the end in mind. So we started with where do we want the audience to go to this course, take a problem, build the summit. Now, after the summit, we go into monetization. We sell a course, like an info or digital product at a medium price, and that generates an income. Then from there, we take them to the transformation stage. We're going to create a transformation. This allows us to sell a higher ticket or a higher priced item. And then we go into our recurring revenue, which is multiply. This is where we give them a membership option. We build a tribe with ongoing successful strategies. Now, I want to give you a couple examples of this, of mine and a couple others, so you've seen it in action. So I showed you actually inside of the Neurology Summit at the beginning. I showed you inside the software. You saw the Neurology Summit. This was our customer journey for that summit. So Virtual Neurology Summit was the summit. You could buy the on-demand access for $197 into our course, which was Advanced Chronic Pain Solutions. This is inside the American Posture Institute company that I have, $350. And then to our higher ticket or our transformation, which was $2,000, and then to our membership, which was $97. So that was my customer journey specifically for that one process. Now here's Michael Hyatt's. He had the Impact Summit, which went into his best year ever online course, into his best year ever group coaching. That was his transformation, into his membership, which was Platform University. These Tony and Angus, they run a marketing company for healthcare professionals. They did the marketing summit, into the mobile video blueprint course, into the video influence course, into their membership. This was Chandler Bolts, who runs the self-publishing school. He did the self-publishing success summit, into his self-publishing school starter kit course, into his self-publishing school VIP course, and then into his self-publishing school mastermind. So you can see, I just wanted to show you several examples of that so you've seen it, okay? And I wanted to show you the various price points. Price depends on your audience and your industry, your niche, but I wanted to show you a variety of different ones. There's hundreds of examples of these, so now I want to show you how we, in my companies, use summits as a business model. So I call this the Summit Ascension model, or the Summit Ascension business model. So this right here has been how we've been able to generate multiple 6, 7, and multi-7-figure companies. I have multiple of those, and we use this business model in essentially all of them. So we use a summit to grow our audience, to grow our tribe. This is how we get our message out to the world. Now, this could be your message of your overall company, or it could be a product message or a different message from an individual thing inside of your company. So you can use it either way. Now from the summit, we build the audience, and that's now when we go into the journey, which I just showed you, the customer journey. This is our post-summits profit strategy. This is how we take the audience and then monetize that audience. And then from there, we go into the last aspect of the Summit Ascension model, which is scale. This is how we scale past the summit. What I mean by that, this is where we begin to analyze, optimize, and automate this process, essentially finding out what's working and what's not working, improving it, and then setting it, for example, on Eversummit, so that this process can happen ongoing, automated, so that you're still bringing an audience and you're monetizing that audience, but you're not actually in it every day. And so that's why it goes back into the summit. Once we automate it, then it continues to generate like this. Now, once you have that, you can go build another one, and then another one, and another one. And this essentially all compactually or exponentially increases, which is how you can actually build and scale a 6- and 7-figure business by doing less while making more. It's this Summit Ascension model. So this allows you, and you can see how easy that is, right? Take your summit, monetize that summit, see what's working, what's not working, improving, and then set it on automate right there. And that's how you can take your company and quickly build it and grow it, or just add a whole other sector over here that just generates income ongoing. So I wanted to show you that just so you could see from a business model standpoint how summits could fit in. Now, whether it becomes your main business model like it is for us, or it just becomes like an essential, like an extra integration that you put onto your business, all of that's great. But this is a way that'll help you build and grow your business faster. And of course, make an impact in the world, which is what we truly care about. We truly care about making an impact in the world, getting your message out, making an impact in the world, and leaving a legacy. That's one of my core values. And that's why for us, summits are so important, because they're one of the most powerful ways of doing that. So let's see here. I want to give you a couple examples of what results can look like. So again, that virtual neurology summit, I showed you the inside of it. I showed you our post-summits profit strategy. This is what that summit did when it went live. It did from the summit, it generated $27,000 from summit sales. Then when we put it to the course, it did the course sales, that audience to the course, it did $69,000. And then when we took that audience to our high ticket or our transformation, that did $102,000. And then when we put that into our membership, it did $4,700 reoccurring. That total post-summit, that total profit or customer journey with that summit did $203,000 just from that one summit, just while it was originally live. Now it's on Eversummit, so it continues to generate income ongoing. So that's what that one looked like. And that was from an audience size of 3,500 participants. So not 20,000, not 50,000, 3,500 participants. Let me show you a couple other case studies. Dr. Kevin here, we helped Kevin actually implement his first ever summit. He actually made $5,000 from that summit. He doubled his list and then turned that into $15,000 with post-summits profit strategy. And now since then, he's run, I think, 3 or 4 different summits since then. And this was somebody who's never ran a summit before in a very specific niche as well. Michael here, we helped Michael with a strategy. He ran a 2-day summit. He generated 11,000 leads and made $50,000 from his summit. Right here, a case study with Dr. J. Dr. J in the health space, he did a Lyme's disease summit, generated 28,000 leads, made $136,000 just from that one summit. Here was a toxic home summit. And I'm showing you a variety of different examples. You may or may not be able to do this on your very first summit. Your first summit may be more like Kevin's, where you generated or you doubled your list and made $15,000. And then your next summit, you generate 3,500 or 5,000 leads and made $30,000. And then your next summit, maybe you generate 10,000 leads and make $50,000. Like, the more you do summits, the more you're going to understand, the better you're going to get at them. And then you'll probably do like 1-day summits, where you do a 1-day summit and generate, a list of 2,000. It makes 10 or 15,000, but it only took you a month to do. And then you set it on Eversummit, it continues to make more and more. This was a pregnancy summit. It did 68,000 leads and $250,000. So I just wanted to show you a handful of examples. So you could see, again, I wanted to show you what's the benefits of it, what results can look like, what they can potentially look like, especially ongoing. So now you've done that. To kind of wrap this up, what now? Like, how do you get started? So hopefully you're seeing now whether a summit is for you or not. And if it is for you, you're thinking, okay, this sounds good. I definitely want to implement a summit. I need to figure out my kind of what topic, what niche. I can see how I can monetize that as well. And you want to move forward with this. Hopefully you want to get started with it. And you can see how powerful it could be to getting your message out to the world, building that audience, that tribe, building those strategic partnerships, and then inspiring that audience to take action into whatever the promotion is, so that you can then monetize that audience. You build your authority through expert leverage, right? You're going to leverage the expertise of the speakers on your summit. You're going to build partnerships with them. You're going to leverage their audience. You're going to build your list, okay? You're going to generate authority. You're going to start to be asked to speak on podcasts, on summits, and you're going to be asked to come speak at live events and breakout sessions, and then teach at mastermind sessions, and then eventually you're going to be speaking on stages at major events, because it builds your authority or your influence in this. We actually say summits, you flip the switch, own your niche. And I help people go from original to influencer by using summits. So you can go from original influencer in a day with a 1-day summit. So now, what do you do from now? Hopefully you can see that this is for you. So what I would recommend, I did recently this behind the scenes of a mega summit. So I did this as a live streaming event, and I showed the inside of my actual live summit at the time, we went through and we broke it completely down. I think we had something like 500 or 600 people participate in it while it was live. And it just had such incredible feedback that we've decided to package it up and make it available for others. So we went through summit layout and flow. We went through speaker recruitment strategies. We went through the summit monetization strategies. We went through our communication and promotion sequences. We taught the strategies, but I also showed it in real action. I taught it and I showed it so you could see it in action and understand it. And then we also went through different teaching strategies so that you could actually build out your aspect of it. The cool thing with this is it's now, since it is packaged up like this in the on-demand version, you have online access 24/7. It's unlimited and ongoing. Once you have access to it, you maintain access as long as you want it. It was over 10 hours of in-depth summit training. Now, maybe you don't want to go through all 10 hours. That's cool. Or you want to just watch it on double speed or whatever, or you just want to pick and choose what you want to watch. But we went through 10 hours of in-depth training. We had questions. We answered every single question. A lot of those questions you're thinking right now are answered inside of this. So you're going to walk away from that and get perfect clarity from hosting your summit. Now, inside of this, specifically what we covered, summit layout and flow. We went and looked at how this live summit looked and felt. Additional strategy sessions on coming up with your summit topic, speaker recruitment strategies, and how your summit would look and feel. Then we went on session 2, speaker recruitment strategy specifically. I actually brought on my partner live, who's done over 1,000 interviews and hosted over 30 summits of her own. So she went through some of her specific processes. She showed her documents that she uses to stay organized with her pre-interview, her pre-interview checklist, her post-interview flow, all these different things, what she does to prepare for her interviews, how to do a successful interview, all of this. Plus we went through recruitment strategies, and then building that out. We went through the summit monetization strategy. So the post-summit profit strategy, how we actually showed what we did on inside of our summit, how we did what we did wrong. Like we went through our products. We went through how to create the offer, what the offer looks like, all these type of things. And then the grand finale, we went through and we broke down communication sequences. What should you be putting in your emails? We went through our promotion, our pre-summit launch promotion strategy, and how to perfect your post-summit profit strategy. So all of that is packaged inside of this 10-hour live streaming event training. So we have that available there for you. So this would be the next step, because this is going to give you complete clarity. And then you can decide, like, am I doing a one-day summit, a multi-day summit? Am I going to take this strategy or this strategy? And then you can move forward with it. Okay, so that was our Summitology Foundations training. Again, if you want to go access the video version of this, you can grab it on the show notes at podcast.virtualsummits.com/039. I'll also provide a limited time opportunity link to access that behind the scenes of a mega summit training I mentioned there at the end of the training. You can go check it out if you'd like. Don't forget to check out our resources pages over at virtualsummits.com to see all the free and paid resources we have available to help you get started on your next virtual summit. Until then, remember, you have a message that the world needs to hear. Now go out and make an impact.
Thanks for listening. Now don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review on the Virtual Summit podcast. Head over to the show notes to check out all the links and resources from this episode, and be sure to grab your free trial of the Virtual Summit software.
Now, I want to end this episode by saying to all the Summit hosts listening right now, I believe in you, and you can do this. Summits are by far one of the most powerful ways to quickly grow your list, launch your platform, make more money, and most importantly, make an impact in the world, even if you're just getting started. So don't get caught up in analysis paralysis, because the world needs to hear your message, and there are people who are waiting for you to help them. So just get started, because imperfect action is always better than no action. Thank you, and see you on the next episode.